effects.
I mean, the insurance brokers were down like 10, 12% that day.
Huge moves across the board.
Huge for those stocks. Those stocks, if they move 2%, it's big.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? And you saw it also with some of the retail brokers where there was another kind of AI-related headline that hit Schwab, LPL Financial, Raymond James, and the group more broadly. It's tricky, right? Because I think for a lot of us, you look back at the release of, say, for example, the iPhone. And at the time, it's like, okay, this is, amazing new technology, and then it's not until years later do you realize like, whoa, there was a lot of disruption that kind of came with it. I think, some estimates are 15 to 25 different business sectors were disrupted ultimately. You think about, BlackBerry, you think about the GPS side, the Garmins, the TomToms, you think about, the rise of Uber and Lyft and how yellow taxis, went away. You think about, what the camera did with the iPhone and how Kodak essentially disappeared. So I think there is this realization that there's something real here.
But we don't really know what it is.
But we don't know what it is. And I think using some of the recent examples, and that's why I bring up the iPhone, this kind of real fear around like, do I have my head in the sand and a year from now or 2 years from now, like there is real disruption risk to these businesses. And I think that's why you kind of have this panic fear. Now, that being said, I think as we think about, insurance brokers or retail brokers, I mean, largely these AI platforms are tools. They're tools for the broker. Mm-hmm. They are tools for that financial advisor.
I mean, insurance brokers sell very complex insurance,
without a doubt,
into the commercial. And this is not we're not talking about auto insurance. Yep. Aon, Marsh Mac, they service commercial insurers. I mean, they may have AI tools, yep, but they're the ones who are going to be selling the insurance for the big insurance companies. So I didn't understand those headlines at all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, again, you got to have to separate the fear from like what could ultimately be the reality. And I think a lot of these companies talk about like, yes, we're partnering with AI companies. We're using a lot of the platforms to make our brokers, to make our advisors, even sharper. And I think that's the tricky part is around how much is like business enhancing versus how much of it is business disrupting. I struggle to see the true disruption risk for the retail brokers and for the insurance brokers.
Or for Visa and MasterCard, which also were down last week.
Yeah. You agree on that, Glenn?
Glenn, what do you think?
Well, I've had my moments during this AI awakening.
Hysteria?
I don't know, like potential hysteria,
yeah,
but at least somewhere between awakening and hysteria. And there are certain moments that do remind me of the financial crisis.